In crypto, speed matters, but trust matters more. At Caleb and Brown, you're never on your own. We connect you with your own personal broker and a 24/7 team, ready to help you buy, sell, or swap over 250 digital assets with one flat, transparent fee. No spreads, no slippage, no hidden costs. Get the best market prices through deep, aggregated liquidity executed by our professional trading desk. Your funds are secured with institutional-grade cold storage for total peace of mind. Track every move in real time with our intuitive client portal, anywhere, anytime. Whether you're trading as an individual, trust, or business, we give you speed, security, and peace of mind. Thousands of clients in over 100 countries already trust Caleb and Brown. Visit calebandbrown.com and start your personalized crypto journey today.
Disclaimer, not financial advice. We are not liable for any personal financial decisions that you make. Thank you. What is up, guys? How you doing on a good Saturday morning? Perfect honesty here. I have to apologize right off the bat. I did a clickbait title. I'm not gonna lie. I created that. I was like, you know what? What would pull me away on a Saturday morning? And I was like, I know what we'll do. We'll do Danger Zone of Bitcoin, crypto, altcoin season delayed. I would have been like, maybe I should listen to this. This might pay a dividends. I'm sorry to let you know off the bat. It's not going to. It's not. But we're going to jump to the news. We're going to do charts. I have this awesome gentleman over here. We got Trade Intuition, Joe himself. Guys, welcome him in.
Thank you. Thank you.
But before we get started, smash that golden like button, but not down, please, but up, because that's what we like to do. Hey. Smash it, smash it, smash it. And we got the subscribe bell right here. We ring a ding ding and we ring a ding ding. You can find it over here on YouTube. We get shadow banned over there because our content is that insane. But over there on Kick and Rumble, they love us so much that we don't have to ask for it. And it just grows all natural, baby. All natural. It's a little competition for the YouTubies out there. So, guys, welcome in. Joe, you want to introduce yourself? How you found it? What's your beginning, Joe? I didn't get to talk to you beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. So I started trading. Well, I started getting into crypto back in 2020. I didn't really start trading till, I would buy stuff, but I didn't know how to buy or sell or nothing like that. So I would just buy them. A few months after that, 2021, I started learning how to trade because, I started losing a lot of money. I joined groups. I don't know if that's y'all's story too. You know, you get in crypto, you join all these groups. They promise all the hopes and dreams, empty promises. I joined some groups, and the first group I joined, of course, they're giving all these results, really nice results, 50% gains, 80% gains, 30% gains. So I joined the group. Well, lo and behold, they have 20 charts that they're giving a day. Like, oh, next day, 20 more charts. Next day, 20 more charts. And so by the third day, I'm in 60 trades. And the first 20, I put some money in. Yeah. Then, of course, now the money's getting lower and lower. And I started seeing the money coming down because, price goes up, price goes down. And I'm losing 8-12% on each trade. And that was a lot of money. So I panic sold. And then sure enough, like 2-3 days later, all of them 30% up. I was like, so that's when I said, I need to learn how to trade. So, started getting some mentors, started getting websites, just checking out websites. And I learned that, you have to invest in yourself before you invest in the market. So that's pretty much my story. And now I just trade. So.
Yeah, dude, I like it, man. And you are right, dude. A lot of people out there, they don't tell you about you'll join these different channels and different. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought on how I was going to word this. But you join lots of different channels and you'll get blasted by charts out the wazoo. You're like, tree coin. What's tree coin? You know,
Right.
where do I even buy tree coin? And when you find it, I think a lot of things that people don't talk about are the fees. The fees do eat you up, guys. Like if you could jump in and out trades and be up in profits, and if you're not paying attention to how fees work on different platforms, you will close and be like, why am I in the red? This doesn't make any sense. I was positive when I closed it. Look. And so, I mean, it's really, you do have to be careful on who you trust in the space and who to trade with. Guys, I do want to jump on over here to Xarooners. And well, I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on over here. I was reading this. It said, Cardano fam, going to take a slight victory lap as I was the first big D-rep to vote yes and get the momentum going at SNEC. Team delivers, and I'm bullish on all of our builders. Hoping my buddy Jason Appleton also voted yes for the SNEC. So they're actually they're asking for a loan to probably be listed on a bunch of different exchanges. I thought that's pretty cool, man. I really like SNEC. I used to be a big SNEC holder, and I got swayed from my beliefs from other people out there, and that's the problem that I try to teach you guys. You buy things that you have conviction in, because you got to have strong conviction, because if you don't, you'll be talked out of your bags, and then you're giving your money away. But SNEC, I think, is going to do good, and I hope the best for them. And also, it's really interesting. I was just checking out the show before we came. I can actually jump over the bubbles and show you guys. So you go in, and we're going to type in Sneckarooners. Here it is. They actually have a $286 million market cap, which realistically, it's probably like they have on cash like $30 million. And what I mean by that is, like, look at Bitcoin this last week. They took $4 billion to move it $4,000. And it's over $1 trillion asset. So it's pretty crazy how much money that the market cap doesn't show. But another thing that they're probably trying to do is that they have the money to get listed in a lot of these exchanges, but if you don't know the process, they cost a lot of money, and they want your tokens. And then as soon as they get listed, they dump them on your holders. So they're probably trying to do a workaround where they can get their project on all these exchanges without having to get dumped on. And which, more power to them. They know the bull run's coming, and I think one of the reasons why I liked SNEC is the same reason why I liked Cardano, is they're a bunch of loyalists. And then that's a rare thing to find in this space anywhere. And Cardano did a really good job at sticking together and, just supporting each other. I don't know if it's just because it's a bunch of nerds behind computers and they all love each other, or what's going on back there, but dude, they really don't like dumping on each other's heads. So I think, more power SNEC. Proud of you guys. I think you're kicking butt and taking names. Let's go to Coin Tell the Truth, because they're best known for telling every truth in the space, guys. I think a lot of times they pull it from Crypto Panic, which, I didn't even know Crypto Panic was for the longest time. I have it. I still haven't quite gotten super smooth with using it. I should probably start using it more. But when I first opened it up, I was like, whoa, this is like, I don't know.
1995 type room.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I used to work at Costco, and that's the same software they use to look up items in the store. I was like, why are we still using this? They called it the AS 4000 or 400 or something like that back then, and it was so wackadoo, man. I was like, you guys could be so much more efficient. You do it differently. Where we got going on? Am I over? Yeah, we're over. Okay, cool. Oh, I didn't realize I don't have any music going in the background. Give me 1 second. I like to have like white noise in the background. All right, there we go. Shout out to my wife because she made it. Here's what happened in crypto 2 hours ago. This should be really good, guys. Covering the good stuff. Scam of all scams. Crypto dev claims Trump linked Will Liberty stole his money. Oh, that would be pretty interesting. Crypto dev claims Trump linked Will Liberty Finance stole his money. That's a pretty big leap, I feel like. I'd be careful saying something like that if it wasn't true. You don't want to get,
just like with Justin. Justin put out a tweet saying that, hey man, like what's the big idea? Yeah, Justin's son. What's the big idea? Freezing my coins, like, because he wants to sell. he wants to dump, and
Yeah.
they're like, nope, your tokens are frozen. So it's like,
Well, I think that's a bad look, but I also don't like Justin Sun, and I don't think that. And the same thing, like, you shouldn't freeze anybody's money, and you should have known, like, if you had people in crypto that were surrounded by you, they would said, stay away from that guy. And the second thing too with Justin Sun is he's like, I'm innocent. Well, the dude, I was trying to find it yesterday. I saw someplace they found his wallet, and he actually did dump like $9 million worth of tokens. I'm like, you're lying. One, Justin, you lie because that's what you do. But yeah, it was.
When I first saw that on, the founders or the tape chair or whatever they're called, and Justin Sun was there, is like, why? Like, if you know anything about crypto, like, you know that he's associated with, not good stuff.
Not good
and
stuff.
Sure enough, now do I, oh, he shouldn't sell? No, I mean, that's what they're, you're in it to make money, but don't dump it. Yes, take profits, but you are literally the foundation to making sure it stays afloat. So don't dump it, sell some, yes, but then keep some, let it grow, and then sell some more.
Well, it's really interesting too, is because we were talking about like how he was dumping it, right? Well, okay, granted, like Will Liberty should have known better, because you see projects right now when they do their seed rounding thing, they have an unlock state for the seed rounders. They don't say, hey, here you go, trust exercise. We brought you a good dinner. Don't sell it, right? I'm like, well, if you guys are so smart, wouldn't you have put like unlock? You guys can't unlock until 2026 or 2027 or whatever it is. So you can trickle it out. You see, that's what kind of surprised me about that too. So like, I don't necessarily blame Justin Sun, because I would be like, I want money too. I want to get my initials out, house money.
Right.
But it's just pretty weird. Oh, I forgot to mention, guys. Here's my brew. I got I've been drinking it already. It's coffee. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's in there. I promise. But I'm just chilling, drinking, chilling. Okay, so let's check this out, because this is a little interesting, because he's saying Will Liberty's a scammer. A crypto developer has accused Will Liberty Financial, a crypto project with ties to the U.S. President Donald Trump, of stealing his funds. Oh, so he's saying that Will Liberty stole this guy's money. Okay. President Donald Trump of stealing his funds by refusing to unlock his tokens. Is it still talking about Justice Sun? Is that true? Oh my gosh. In a Saturday post, ex-Polygon dev rel Bronco Scovo shared an email with Will Liberty Financial Compliance Team, which flagged his wallet address as high risk due to blockchain exposure. The team said tokens would not be released. TLDR is they stole my money, Skovrick wrote, and because it's the POTUS, the President of the United States family, I can't do anything about it. This is a new age of mafia. There is no one to complain to, no one to argue with, or no one to sue. I'm going to take this in advance. I do think it's not a great look, but I'm willing to bet he actually hasn't even gone to the SEC to even try to unlock it. And 3, the guy probably didn't even read, like, I would say I'm sure there was some sort of paperwork he signed and probably didn't full disclose read what it said. Because the president doesn't want anybody to get hurt either. I mean, why would he protect one guy when this guy could destroy everybody else's life savings? We don't want a whole Celsius thing.
Right.
In response to another Skovrick, which I'm not condoning what they did. I just want to point that out. I'm playing devil's advocate here. In response to another user, Skovrick claimed that he is one of the 6 investors who were subject to 100% token lockups from the beginning. It was not high risk to accept money from this address, but at high risk to unlock and owe money into, he wrote. Okay, well, yeah, obviously you want to throw anything that's not high risk. You don't throw globs of money on it. You have to wonder. I do like what Trump said, bring common sense back. Like, if it smells too good to be true, sniff around a little bit more, and he probably would have noticed, okay, yeah, I can make money here, but I have the opposite. I could lose money, So we jump in. Let's see here. It was not high risk to accept money. Brovik, I just got a reply from Will Liberty Financial, TDL. They stole my money, and because it's a post fame, I can't do anything about it. You probably will get it back eventually, bro. No, I'm sorry, but it is probably a thing. Thank you for reaching out. Unfortunately, due to the high risk blockchain exposure association with your wallet, we will not be able to unlock your tokens. Will Liberty Financial. And I'm sure that this email is probably Will Liberty's probably trying to understand how to navigate this, because I'm sure that they're going to unlock it, but they probably will do it almost like a little at a time, like how they should have. Like I was just saying, they should have did like a seed round, unlock it X day, X day, X day, X day, you know, and deliver him because they're trying to grow something. And you know, it's a bad look, sure, fine, whatever. But if they killed the project day one, that's a really bad look too. So they're kind of they're stuck in between a rock and a hard place due to, I think, like he did mention like the Trump's family in here, and that they should have had the lawyers look over crypto. But if you guys ever gone to court over crypto stuff, I mean, they don't understand it. They really don't. I don't care how smart they are, but they can't figure it out, man. And so, unfortunately, I think it's just an unfortunate situation for everybody involved.
Yeah, on day one, it got listed on a bunch of exchanges. You know, I was getting alerts left and right. You know, this exchange, and so I'm thinking, okay, there's going to be probably FOMO, but I didn't know about the token unlocks was on that day.
I didn't know that either.
What they're doing is they're being able to dump it on all these exchanges, not just one or two.
Yeah.
And right now what they're doing is they're trying to save face, I think, by freezing the token from not being further dumped by, you know, don't sell anymore. And now they're like, hey, I want to sell because I got in at 0.15 cents and then 0.5 cents. I want to sell right now, which it's going to kill the project. You know, if not kill it, you know, make it to where it's barely gasping for breath before somebody starts buying in at the super lows and then makes, you know, a 7x or 12x.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I wanted to share this story too, quick. So my wife, she likes to trade microcap meme coins, you know, and so she was in this coin and she bought it at like, I can't remember the cap. Something significant, like I think 100K. And this coin ran up to 10 million. And she goes, OMG, she had like $170,000 worth of profit. I mean, it's not the great story because she ends up, she didn't know how to sell it because for us, it's immorally wrong to take everybody's money and crash the chart. So, but you can't really sell it a little bit at a time because it causes mass panic to everybody in that space. And just trying to figure out what to do. I think she ended up taking she made like $5,000 out of the 167,000 before it ended up crashing back down to zero. And it's just really interesting just because how many people can you find that have morals like that and can maintain morals like that? And that's another thing, like you guys had Justin's son that dinner table, you know, I would have been like, if I was there, like I say, I just got lucky and had a bunch of this Trump token. I bought 3 cents. I just happened to ended up being there. I was like, I've been like looking around at everybody. I'm like, hey, you guys know you shouldn't have this guy here. He's bad news. You know?
Yep.
I was like, how did nobody speak up and point that out? But we're over here looking at Will Liberty. We took a break real quick from the news. I was looking at this chart. People were talking to me about buying it in back here in the pre-sale. I'm going to try like the daily. We'll do the 12-hour. Where was I on when I was looking at it? We're over here on the 4-hour market cipher. And I told everybody right here on this green dot, on this trigger wave, I said, hey, it might go up. I also thought it could go up back here. But I also said it's probably going to go up likely on this trigger wave. We shot up. It was at all-time highs. People like, it's going to get launched tomorrow. It's going to be so good. It's so big. And I'm like, I don't know. That's generally that's not how it happens. That candle could have possibly fooled you. But then you would have got this red dot, bounced off the 21, and then you've been like, confirmed it right here. A couple fake outs just to get that last little bit of liquidity out of the market because they wanted to. And you got this giant, enormous doji candle. And I would have said you probably knew it was coming down because we didn't get a secondary green dot. And we just had the red dot, and the red dot just ended up slowly playing out. So we came down here. And we've been down here. You know, we could have probably played this dot, and you would have been stopped out. And a lot of things, reason why we're getting firing off on these is because we're at the bottom of where the dang coin freaking launched. And that's just the truth. Then we have this giant, big Bitboy green dot and a little green dot right here. And that actually turns out that could have been the bottom. We are pumping up on Will Liberty. We're at the 21. And despite all this FUD, people are still going to buy this coin. I mean, I don't know if you guys, how long anybody in here has been watching. Actually, got to jump over the chat. How long you guys have been in crypto for it? You know, I actually joined in 2020, just like Joe did. My first example of getting into crypto, I should getting derailed. My thoughts are moving quicker than my mouth can talk. What was I saying? People in crypto have short-term memory, man. They really do. So this whole Will Liberty, dude, people aren't going to remember in 3 months this whole little fiasco, you know? And I don't necessarily agree what they did, but I also don't necessarily care because it's not me, and I would have been a lot more worried. And Justin Sun, he's been in crypto for a long time. You know, he knows what he's doing. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but he's an idiot, and he's definitely trying to wreck everybody. So screw you, Justin. If I'm glad of everybody in the space that happened to you. So no regrets. It's still the wild, wild west, Justin. You should got to remember that. But so Will Liberty, it could break out as 21. I would say our next little bit of level is going to be 22 cents ish range, and I think that'd be a good little area. If we can get above this where we actually started, it's going to do good. I don't know if you were in here the other day, Joe, but we were talking about when like coins first launch, they generally just dump. Like, I don't know. Actually, Under did pretty good. Trying to find some other coins. Like here's Hedera. I don't necessarily know this is when it launched, but this is when the chart added the chart. Just dumps, you know. I gotta get rid of some of my squigglies. Make it a little legible. Here's LCX. Comes out, dumps. You know, I think Will Liberty's trying not to drop 99.9%. And you think they would have been a little bit wiser. Here's XCN. I would have said XCN was dead, you know, at this point, but it looks like they're still alive and still kicking. You know, so it's kind of like one of those things that you just have to be aware that it's a possibility of getting the space. And, you know, Justin Sun he saw the price up here and he wanted to be the guy to dump it down here. That's what he did. He wanted to hurt Will Liberty. And I don't think there's no way to end about it. Look at Sweet. You know, Sweet just came out and just dropped straight down. And now it's one of the best projects. Well, I wouldn't say best projects, but it's one of the strongest projects out there this bull run. I'm going to swing over to the chat. I just want to shout out a few people because just running it. We got John 316 in here. Awesome, John. Glad to see you. We got Trade Intuition on. He's a special guest today. Dude, I can't believe we snagged him right now for this morning slot. It's so early, you know. We got Wicked's wife, Fine 89. Is she one of your guests on your English?
Yeah, Wick's wife, Fine 89, loyal supporter. She's great. You know, there's quite a few people that they help support like as many people as they can when they can. So yeah, Wick's wife, Fine 89, she's a good one.
Yeah, that's sick, man. You got Dylan VA. Dylan, Joe, you got me here. He is a beast. He's like Marshawn Lynch. He's the beast. You got the Skittles. Oh, dude, sweet, man. Do you watch any football, Joe? You a football guy?
I used to before crypto, and now it's just all crypto.
All crypto, man. I did too. We were talking the other day. We're pure blood, so like we didn't get the COVID vaccine, and the whole. Dude, I was saying yesterday, like everybody has their own right to do whatever the heck they want in America. I 100% believe in that. But when they were kneeling for the flag, that I found it offensive because I had a lot of family go to war, you know, and it's like a generational thing. I think I'm like the first one that didn't, you know, the lines of doing it, you know, and my great grandpa, he went over in Vietnam and he was talking about his war stories. And the guy who taught me how to drive my truck, he was telling me about his war stories. Dude, that guy is awesome. That is an awesome person. You know what he was telling me? He said that he was going to go play professional baseball. And his dad was a colonel at the time in the army. And he said, you're going to war. And he went to war. And he said that he ended up becoming like a captain or his platoon or whatever they call it. And he noticed that they were getting ambushed. And he ran. I'm cutting it in layman terms, you know, he kind of ran in the open to take the bullets, and he was shot 3 times. And he was being shot, like his crew was able to take out, like, you know, the people shooting him. But he said he was shot in the leg, and then he got 1 bullet. I just remember this one, and it went through the shoulder and like just blew it out. And he was never able to play baseball again. But he actually had a signing bonus at the time. So this is 55 years ago. He had a $20,000 sign-on bonus for whatever team he was going to play with. Wow. And
that's a lot of money back then.
Yeah. And
it was like 80,000.
Yeah, dude, right? And his mom married some rich guy. And when he got out, you know, his parents weren't together anymore. And he's like, what should I do with my money? Like, I can't play anymore. How can I grow? And he was an investor. And he said, you should go buy Microsoft. and he took his 20 grand and he told his wife, and she's like, you let me use this money and buy a Microsoft. We'll never have to afford anything ever again. And so, he was pretty well off, but he didn't believe in retiring. So he actually drove a truck for 50 years, and he just, and then it was crazy, dude, is when we got my CDL, because he lived 15 minutes past me, he drove 2 hours every day to commute to work. I was like, what? Why did you get a closer place? He goes, well, I like this place. I like the kids. I'm just here to help out. So anyways, there's good people out there, guys. You just got to be able to find them. He was a good man. Shout out to you, Pat, wherever you are. So here, we're going to jump back in the news real quick. I don't think there's anything else that's screaming at me. U.S. regulators released joint statement teasing 20% capital market. We covered that yesterday. I think it's all coming, dude. The capital markets are coming. We got ARK Invest boost crypto bets with 16 million Bitmine, 7.5 million bullish stock buys. Kathy Woods, I've heard, I don't follow her close enough, but I've heard that she's not the greatest trader. I heard it's like mixed messages. Sometimes she does good, sometimes she does bad. Oh, I don't know. That's just some stuff I've heard. I don't know. What do you think, John? What's your take on Kathy Woods?
I really don't have one on her. It's like, man. Yeah.
You think she's a good trader?
I don't think she's horrible, but
Did I call you John? I meant
it's
Joe.
okay. What's that?
Did I call you Joe or John?
You call me John, but it's all right. I don't care what you call me, as long as you call me. It's all good.
I'm sorry. I was like, when I first saw you, I have pretty nasty dyslexia. And when I first was reading your name, I think I felt so bad afterwards. I was talking to Chad. I was like, Chad, I feel so horrible. I'm like, I think I called trade intuition. Oh no, not intuition. That's your name. I called you trade
Institution.
I'm
Everybody does.
sorry.
Everybody does. No, it's whatever. But anytime I go into anybody's thing and I say, hey, what's going on? Hey, we got traders institution in here. And it's like, man, you're throwing so many extra letters. It's trade intuition and the traders institution.
Yeah,
it's all good. It's like, it doesn't bother me.
Well, I'll take it upon myself. That was my bad. I do that, man. When I was working for my garbage company, I used to write the addresses on the cans, and all the drivers kept coming up to me. You're like, you wrote the numbers backwards in paint, so now I can't take it off.
Oh no!
I was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, yeah, you need to go back there and fix it, like, because you got the grease to go take it off. And I was like, oh, my bad, bro. So it's a legit thing. I don't know how dyslexia works, but it's a thing. So then I know all my colors, but sometimes I'll say yellow and is white. But I'm like, I know what I meant to say. I always say, do what I mean and not what I say.
There you go.
Here we go. So we're jumping into the crypto bubbles. We're checking out the top 100. The winners are Pit Network. Honestly, I don't know what your opinion is on this, Joe. I don't know too much about it, but I went into CoinMarketCap. We read what M was. It had like a 46 dislike rate. That's one of the worst I've ever seen in CMC, CoinMarketCap. And I'm like, dude, I'm staying away from this. They're like, well, we build meme ecosystems. No, memes don't need an ecosystem. I'm sorry. I think whatever this inflation of $3 billion dude, I don't know anybody buying this. That's my biggest thing. I'm like, this is like a KOL bomb ready to get off. And it makes me think of like Fartcoin. I never bought Fartcoin, could not buy it. People made money on it. But Fartcoin really has kind of like, it shot up and dude, it dumped on everybody's head. And it's kind of came up. It's kind of just trying to do its little thing. But dude, stay away from some of these coins, man. That's my honest opinion. Buy things that you believe in. Don't, I think even people, someone called me a KOL, and I don't exactly remember what KOL stands for, but I would even put myself in this category. Don't buy things that I'm going to sell you, because you're not doing your research. You're buying something I'm telling you is a good with a conviction or whatever I'm saying. You don't know. You don't know what other people are trying to give you. And I think Joe could speak a lot on this. And buy things that you believe in, buy things that you do your research in. That was my biggest mistake. I used to own a fat bag of XRP, 6 figures. And I let KOLs talk me out of it. And now look at them. They're all rich. And here I am trying to understand what I did wrong. And now I know I did wrong. Now I'm understanding how do I correct it. And luckily for me, when I sold my house and put it into crypto, I said I will not take unnecessary risks where I will lose too much of my money. So I didn't. It was a learning lesson. I lost a lot, but I didn't expose myself to a desperation. Another thing, I think even Joe will touch on this in a second when I give him the mic, is don't invest what you're not willing to lose. And even with all that house money, I told my wife when we got into it, it's like, I'm going to take certain boundaries where I'm not going to risk it. But if we lost everything, crypto's the future, and I'll be back in this bear market, and I will be building. So I was willing to risk it all. And a lot of people have heard my story. And I didn't just do it out of nowhere. I mentioned to Joe beforehand, I'm Christian, and I had a dream. And in that dream, God told me, hey, you bought your house. I told you to buy this house. I told you what price to put in. I told you whatever. And you've been a good, faithful servant. And he said, he said, if you sell it and put it in crypto, I'm going to bless you more than you can ever imagine. I said, well, that sounds like a pretty good deal. But I woke up and I said, you know what? I don't think I could just take one dream on that. I said, God, give me a second dream. I want a second dream as confirmation. And then I went back to sleep, and this is like a month later. I got a second dream, and he said, I want you to sell it, and I want you to sell this number for this number I give you. I'm like, okay, that's it. That's good enough for me. And so we ended up listing our house. We ended up selling a month later, and after we sold it for that number, we were the only people in our neighborhood getting people showings. And my real estate agent comes up to me and goes, I didn't tell you this because they were kind of friends of ours. He goes, I didn't think you were going to sell your house. I didn't think you were going to sell your house. And I was like, hey, when you got orders, you got your orders, And I think a lot of it too, in this space, you got to learn to step out in faith, but do it wisely, because there's a lot of unwise people out there who do it. And I think confirmation is a really good thing, because it kind of separates your what's it called, Joe, when you have your feelings. It's like not conviction.
I was gonna say conviction.
It's like your mind. It's like when your brain tells you to do one thing, but your heart says to do the other. You know what I'm talking about? That what's that feeling called? It gives you confirmation in yourself. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Joe, you want to take it away on like a little bit of like what we kind of touched on is don't be sold a package just off of KOLs.
Yeah. So, and that goes like, I think everybody has to touch the stove and realize it's hot, because you can say that all day, don't listen to influencers, don't listen to KOLs, don't listen to YouTubers, but they have to touch the stove and experience that, like, oh, they are really just promoting the coin that they got paid in, so the coin can go up, so I can buy it, and they talk about it, and then they jump on me. But yeah, for me, like, I had to learn that the hard way. And my recommendation is, if anybody does talk about a coin, then more than likely they're either invested in it, or maybe it's something that they really like, or they're getting paid from it. So there's all these different things. But what I would recommend is, whenever you're watching anybody, have a notebook, have a pen, and write down that ticker. Let's just say SUI. You write down SUI. A few influencers talk about it. You write it down. You don't buy it right then. You wait a week. It's because then all the sell-off's going to be done. And then you can, if you like the coin and you did your own research, then you can enter the coin. And guess what's going to happen? More than likely, those same influencers are going to talk about it again in a few weeks or maybe a month. And then now it pumps your bag. So that's one of the pro tips that I pretty much end up doing, and made me a good amount of money. Now, in reference to XRP and selling it, because I sold like 90% of my XRP, I want to say in late 2020. I believe that's when it was. Just because I was watching a YouTuber, and he says, if the coin's not making you money, sell
you can say his name.
Other things to make you money. What's that?
You can say his name.
It was Crypto Revolution. Yeah, I used to watch him. He no longer has a show. I ended up working for him, and I ended up being second in command. I worked my way all the way up to the top of that business, and then the business fell apart. So there you go. But yeah, so he said that, if it's not making you money, sell it. So I ended up doing that, selling 90% of my XRP, getting to other coins, and man, am I glad I did, because XRP stayed around 22 cents for the longest time, and I'm getting into all these other coins that made me, oh my gosh, a dumb amount of money. And then, of course, now that I've made all that money, diversified and everything else, now XRP is finally moving, like recently started moving. So, like, am I upset that I sold my XRP? No, because I was able to make money. And I'm just glad I didn't sell all of it, and that's how the rich like continue to be rich, and that's how people can be rich, is if you buy a project and you don't need that money to survive. You just keep it in there. I mean, you see XRP, same thing with like DOT. DOT is like, back to its bottom-ish area. But you just hold it for like 5 years, and who knows, it could, that those $3 or whatever it is, $4 or $5, whatever it is, $7, I don't know. It can go 22. It everything has its time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the biggest thing. And that, to me, that's where all of us get, I want to say, like, bamboozled, where we come into crypto and it's like, I want to get rich. I want to be a millionaire next week. You put, 10,000, 20, 100, whatever into certain coins. And because you're so aggressive and you want, if it comes down a couple grand, you're like, oh, I'm going to sell it. And then it goes up. You check it a month later, it went up like 40%. It's like,
yeah.
So yeah.
You want to hear a funny story, Joe?
What's that?
No, I was super heavy into 2020. I was talking to one of my coworkers, like, dude, Bitcoin's the thing. And I'll never forget this conversation. As he said, if it was so easy, why does everybody not do it? I was like, dude, I have no idea. And, I didn't even listen to my own advice, because I thought at that time, buy the altcoin instead of buying Bitcoin. Lo and behold, if you bought Bitcoin at the bottom, which, is funny, is that I remember the day it went to 15.5. I told my wife, that's the bottom. I said, get in. And we went and got into alts. And I didn't realize that alts drop another 90% after that point.
Dude, like, my stomach still turns on that, just because all the previous seasons, the alts have just annihilated Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin goes up. Sure, it's a turtle. Yeah. It's slow. It's boring. We want the fast, exciting, shiny, loud, ding, ding, ding. We want that. And sure enough, because all those previous cycles, it's gone up. And now this cycle, and man, my portfolio, oh my gosh, like all the coins that I bought last year, thinking, hey, the market's different. This is probably the bottom. We're not going to see these lows again. Everything's just going to go crazy. And like, this is going to be no, I'm down on all. I haven't even really checked. I don't check it, but I know for a fact that, like, I'll see a coin, one of my coins pump like 80%.
Yeah.
Well, I go and I look and go, well, I bought it way over here and it's down here. And that's because it went up 80%. So I'm still, it's like,
that's how
that's because we wanted that shiny. And yeah, I feel sick. If I would have just bought Bitcoin last year, I'd be up so much.
That's one of the things that I think I take away from Cryptos RS. I like him for his news, but I don't follow his news on Facebook because, I'm sorry, it's not always right, so I don't trust it. But I think he does a pretty good job of covering everything. And I like his rule. Now, I'm telling you right now, I'm not in his rule. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to do his rule next cycle. And he preaches a lot of like 25% Bitcoin. I think actually he says 50. I think 25% of your portfolio should be Bitcoin. I do. And then he says 25% should be large caps, 25% mid caps, and 25%, keeping stables. And dude, that one's the hardest rule out of all of them, is to try to keep the stables up to buy the dips. Because the reason why dips are so painful is because I'm already all in. I'm like, I wish I had money to buy the dip. And it's one of the reasons why I sold some of my Crow, which I still don't listen to my rules. So, don't always listen to influencers. We're human too. But I sold some of my Crow at 26 cents when it first shot up. Like, hey, I bought it at 4 and 12. I said that's good. That's good gains.
Heck yeah.
I'm not selling all my bag. I only sold a third of it, and I bought XLM. And the reason why I bought XLM is when I was looking at it on the chart. I'll even show you. So here's my mouse. So here's Crow. I sold it at one larger time frame than that's fine. I sold it at right here, and we just broke up. Actually, we broke a decently amount up. I said, dude, that's gonna be the top. I didn't catch this tippy top, which is fine, whatever. And then I wish I did, but congratulations to everybody out there. And then I went to XLM, and I was looking at XLM on the daily, and it's like new, So I sold the top of Crow, and I bought near the bottom of XLM, near the 21. I don't know if I'm going to get a 10x off of XLM, but generally sell the green, buy the red, and I think that was a good swap. And I actually had conviction in XLM. For the longest time, it was just XRP, and I've done a lot of research in XLM, and I believe in it. I think that it's going to do good. I'm not gonna lie, I think XRP carries it, but I think now that it has a main name and it's gonna pump with XRP when XRP pumps, I think it's gonna do wonderful. Hey, what's up, D Not You? What's up, John? Thanks for the blessings. What up, Brewers? Like smacked. D Not You, if you haven't already, check out Trade Intuition. He's on the channel today. He kicks serious butt. I'm trying not to swear anymore. It's hard to be a truck driver. It's like a second nature. But dude, he's on here, dude. We were talking before the show. He's got gems, man. He's gems. He's just giving them out. So shout out to John 316 too. I don't know. How did you find this Trade?
It was on my YouTube homepage, and just showing that you were live. So I clicked in here, and I saw John 316 in here. I was like, well, if John's following you, you must be good. So I started watching you. It's like, hey, I like what y'all are saying. I like how your thought process and everything. And that's the biggest thing too. Like for me, I want to see your thought process. I want to see like how you look at trades, how you look at charts, how you explain stuff. Do you give like 3 or 4 different explanations, and that way one of them is going to be right? Do you have like 50 lines on your chart for support resistance, and that way when it goes to one of them, you're right? That's what I like seeing. I like seeing, if you're an experienced trader, if you're learning, like we're all learning, but just kind of feel you out, and what I saw I liked. So
it's interesting too, because we were talking about a little bit beforehand about KOLs and influencers, and you mentioned that you worked for Crypto Revolution, I think his name was. Well, I used to work for Hit Network and BitBoy. And why and how I got involved, it wasn't a great way in how I got involved. We talk about problems, and I was sold a dream of buying aliens and you get life revenue. I maxed out all my credit cards. The first 6 months was great because I was making more than I was, it cost me, and so I was like, I'll just pay this off as free money. This is sick. And it should have been. They totally effed up, but it was my fault for not even reading the risk versus reward either. But it hurt me, and the Discord wasn't no help. But the weird part was that because I was such a high caliber roller, I had influence to the background and some of the backdoor conversations. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, they are so effed. They stole all the money. But it was one of those things that if you just go out there and shout it, then everybody else is going to lose money too. And everybody else will be in the same boat. So it was like, I didn't know what, I honestly, I didn't know what to do, because you kind of want the dream to live on. Maybe they can bring it back. It's kind of like the whole you're kind of hoping for. And it didn't end up happening. But when I went on to the BitBoy cruise, all my other friends took the sellout money. They're like, hey, take $3,000, don't come on, we don't want you, kind of type deal. I was like, no, screw you guys. I want that dinner. I want to be able to talk to Ben one-on-one, because I didn't have his phone number. I said, Ben, this is who I am. I'm not rich, and I want to help people, and you guys rug pulled it, and the guy that you put in control is gatekeeping it. And I have some crazy theories. I'll love to talk to you off the stream, Joe. And I said, it sucks. And he's like, hey, how would you like to have a job and place him? And I was like, honestly, I won't. I didn't say yes at the dinner. I said, dude, came up to him afterward. I said, I think it's a crappy spot to be in, but I'll take it on one condition, that I want a direct line to you. When I call, you answer. And it worked, dude. I was turning everything around. And the next day, dude, that guy, he came up to, or not next day, but it was like, you know, it felt like a day now. It was like a couple weeks later. He's like, hey, can I take the mutant ape out of the wallet? And I was like, the most valuable item? He goes, yeah, I felt like I was volunteered. My time here, I earned it. And this guy, not Ben, said that I should just take it and Ben would be okay with it too. And I was like, no. How about no? And I said to whom I was talking to, I'm like, here's 2 recorded conversations of when he first took that spot. And I said, you said you were going to work for free. And I said, can we pay you? And you said, no, I'm going to work for free. I said, absolutely freaking not. Are you going to take that? And I fought him. And then I sent that screenshot to Ben. The guy responds back to 10 minutes. Ben says, it's taken care of. He goes, if you ever try to do that again, I'm going to fire you and you won't have a job here. I said, screw you, man. I don't work for you. And I'm part of the agreement was I have a direct line for Ben. And I don't represent Hit Network. I represent Pluto Alliance. And so, you know, they were shady, man, from the get-go, dude. From the get-go. But I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sorry, guys. I know. I have a special guest on today. It's not like a regular show, you know. It's chill.
Yeah, for me, I love it. I love the stories. I love the background stuff. You know, some of your members and viewers, maybe they haven't heard it in a while, or maybe they haven't heard it. So, to me, it's all good. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard it either, dude. I got some crazy stories, dude. I got some crazy stuff I'd love to tell you. Oh man, being in that courtroom too, the first back in December or January with my first time ever seeing TJ and his Hit Network family. That was wild times.
It was crazy. Yeah, and Ben, he got really, really big. He was the biggest guy there in crypto space, and you could just see, you know, the stardom got to him. I think, you know, because first, you know, he very successful, popular, whatever, and then, you know, at the peak, he was like a king, you know.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy too about all that is I see a lot of influencers make this mistake is I want to help people and I don't want a Ferrari. I don't. And there's some other people, Cough we were talking about before the show. I don't want to talk about numbers, but I'm like, why don't you do good things for your community? Like give out free indicators. You make enough, you know, give out free market site things like 20 a week to your audience and teach them how to use it, or Lux Algo, you know, or set up events where people can get together and get to know each other. You know, the whole Bitboy cruise, dude, it showed me that there was a way of doing things where it's not a money glitch, but it's a way most people fall in that king thing and they think everybody is below them, and they don't remember where they came from. To me, man, I'm just a normal guy, dude. This is, I think, a little interesting. I like to point out, dude, I drive a garbage truck. I mean,
and you make more money than me when I used to work. Everybody was saying, you know, what they did and everything. I'm a registered nurse, and overtime, kicking, like, just, oh my gosh, just basically killing myself, just working so much. You make, I think, like at least 20 grand more than me.
That's crazy, man. And it's funny too, because people don't realize how much garbage guys make. 2, everybody thinks I'm the bottom of the food chain. They go, look at that guy, he's a garbage man, you know. But
dude, you're an inspiration. Like, I want to change career. No jokes, no jokes. I want to change career. I would not mind being in a truck or even the dude that's hanging on the outside, getting the thing. It's a great exercise.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they do that anymore. I just see the ones with the arms.
Yeah, that's how all of ours are. We don't do it anymore. Seattle does because they have 2 small valleys. But, you know, I didn't wake up one day and it was like, I am going to be a garbage man. You know how I got there? is I know we talked a little bit about beforehand. I didn't get the COVID shot, and I don't care. I don't fault anybody for doing it. And if you wanted it and needed it, go good. But so I was working at Boeing, and they said, "Hey, you got 30 days to get your shot, or you're fired." I was like, "Okay, well."
That's so wrong.
I was like, "Well, it's their company, I mean, I wish I would have knew that beforehand." But my reason why I left is like I had 3 days till they were going to terminate me, and I said I applied for waste management. My dad works there, and an hour later, I got a call, and my dad's like, "You gotta come work with me, kid," and they offered me $8 more an hour, and I'm like, "Dude, I get to work for my dad, $8 more an hour, and I get weekends off. I don't get mandated to work overtime." I said, "Okay, fine, I'll try it out," and that's how it happened. And another thing about garbage, rich people have it too. Job security. I knew the 08 crash and everybody lost their jobs. My dad, he worked straight through it because there was more garbage ever. He was able to get overtime during all that,
Right.
So garbage is one of those things of like, yeah, it kind of stinks, but it's literally, but it doesn't really, man. It really doesn't smell.
And you get used to it too. So it's like whatever.
Yeah, the first like week and a half you're on a truck by yourself, that's pretty intimidating, dude. I'm not gonna lie. But now, dude, it's so second nature. I could drive a truck better than I drive a smaller car because how they're designed, the rails are bigger, they just stay straight, easier. And you get all the cameras over. It's simple, man. It's so easy, and you find cool stuff. I found my kid a little Spider-Man toy the other day, and I was like, "Hey, if he did good in school, I'll bring home a toy for him." And he loves it, dude. They love prizes. Daddy, give me a prize today.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like the whole mandation for the shots. Like I would see it a lot, like on the news and just Twitter, TikTok, whatever. Where like these nurses, they're like I want to work, and they're like, "Well, you can't come in unless you have the shot." It's like, well, I don't want to get a shot. Now, for me, I never got it.
Yeah.
I got into crypto, like I said, right around that time. So I only worked the COVID unit for, I think it was like a month and a half, 2 months, and they were paying us. They were paying us like doctors, man. I was able to survive for like a year from like a month and a half of working. So it's like I think I worked for like a month and a half, 2 months. Anyway, my bills are really low.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm off work and I'm not working anymore, and I'm seeing all these other nurses. They're like, they want to work, but they can't because they can't get even going to the hospital or the buildings or anything like that. And I'm like, and that's so wrong. And the reason I didn't take it was because here's this mysterious whatever. I got to be careful with certain words just in case you do. But
we're not monetized yet, so it's okay.
Okay. So just because of the the COVID virus, so the good stuff comes out, lo and behold, there's an antivirus or a shot. Like
that was crazy to me. Like 6 months, I was like,
dude,
polio vaccine.
It's impossible. Like we have AIDS, we have all these other things that we're still trying to just discover cures.
Yeah.
Now, granted, do I think we have cures already? Sure, but we can make more. Well, the government, the pharmaceuticals can make more money by treating something than curing it.
Yeah,
so that's I'm not a foil head, but that's what it comes down to. And same thing with the shot. It's like, how did they come up with that so quick?
Yeah.
And here's another thing too. So again, registered nurse. As soon as it came out, man, I'm on the CDC website. I'm doing all my research. I'm seeing how the particles, the droplets, are they particles? Like, how is it like TB? Like how can it be transmitted? So I'm doing all this research, and it's like super, super tiny to where if somebody like literally like the end of the street were to sneeze or cough and you get a breeze, you can get it. So it's like everybody's gonna get it. So of course, knowing that, I'm wearing my N95 mask, I'm ordering it from Amazon and everything. So I got my N95 mask before anybody else did, and everybody's making fun of me at my work. And I was like, no, guys, like y'all don't even know. Sure enough, the following week, mandated. Everybody had to have them.
Yeah.
And then because the shortage on the N95 mask were going on, the CDC, this is when I knew everything was a joke. The CDC said, oh, well, the N95 masks, which are the best masks to have, you can just have the regular surgical mask.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how in the world did you go from an N95 mask and making sure it fits and doing the smell test and everything, having to shave your beard to where, had that seal? How did you go from that to just a regular surgical mask? Well, they went to that because there was a shortage and they don't want the nurses not working because, so once that happened, it's like, no, they're just telling us anything.
Yeah.
So
that's what happened to me too, dude. We had California was on fire that year, like really bad. And Washington was also on fire. Everything, dude. When I was working at Boeing, I worked on the airport like runway, and dude, you couldn't even see like a plane from side to side. It was so smoky, and they're like, you couldn't go outside without getting a headache. And they're like, hey, with COVID's going on, got the regular mask, and they go, hey, if you go outside, you got to wear an N95 mask because of the smoke particles. And you're going, wait. The regular mask protects you from COVID, but the N95 protects you from smoke. But smoke's 10 times larger than a virus. You're like, how's that work?
With that one meme where it has a different mask, for the painters, and then for the the welders and everybody else, and then for the N90 for the COVID, it's just a regular bandana, or it's like
bandana. Yeah, you're like, dude, get out of here, dude. That was crazy. People did. I knew people who did die from COVID. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't a real thing, and it didn't. It definitely killed people, and I just think that the government fed us BS.
Big time. It was a scare tactic to see if they could do it. So here's the thing too, like prior to that, like they're always talking about overpopulation. And then not only overpopulation, but they're also talking about the Social Security. They're not going to have money to pay for all the Social Security. So how do they solve that problem? Get rid of the old people. In my opinion, I don't know, but that's what you do. You create something that if your immune system is not good, which is generally older people and younger people, and not only that, but maybe give them something to where it fertilizes them. To where, or creates them infertile to where they can't have babies. That's going to solve. And how do you do it? Mass production wise, create panic. And again, I'm not a foil hat guy or nothing like that, but everything just lined up. I was like, man, this is weird. But
I love the tinfoil hat, man. I could go down those rabbit holes.
I've never been, but I tell you what, the older I get, the more I see. And it's like, man, this all just makes sense.
Dude, the craziest one, dude? Flat Earth theory. Thought it was 100% a effing joke. And now I've done like a little bit more digging, and it's conspiratorial tutorials or whatever stuff. I honestly, I would say I'm about 50-50. I'm
really?
Like, it very, very, very well could be around. There's lots of evidence it could be around. But there's also evidences that it's not. Like, I saw this one video, and the guy goes to the ocean, he like zooms in, there's no curvature, there's zero. He's like, check out from this bridge to this bridge. I'll zoom in, and whoop, and it went right across the bridge. And I was like, that is weird. And like, there's other parts of like the world's longest bridge. You should not be able to see across it with curvature. The world's longest bridge, you should not be able to see across it. But you
True.
Can't. Why? And then there was this weird one. They had like an emergency landing. I can't remember this pilot, but you can look it up. It's pretty famous because the landing was emergency in Seattle, and they were in the middle of the ocean. You're like, how the hell did you get there?
Right.
But anyway, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know. It's just more entertaining, But anyways, I gotta jump into a little bit of conspiratorial stuff with Bitcoin. We'll come back into reality, guys. If you haven't, smash the like, hit that subscribe. Before I jump into Bitcoin, I gotta tell you guys about my favorite part of the channel, and it is my favorite segment is right here. You share this tab instead, guys. If you haven't already and you want to learn a trade, sign up with BitFi using a link. You save 20% in trading fees. No KYC, no VPN. If you're a new, easy beginner, you can deposit $100, you get $60 bonus. Deposit $50, you get $100 bonus, just 20%. Deposit $1,000, you get $200 bonus, and you deposit $5,000, you get $1,000 bonus, guys. Please be careful. Don't get liquidated. Don't get stopped out. If you want, you can post your charts. We'll give you a second pair of eyes on what we're looking at. Like I get, you're the one that has to pull the trigger on the trade. So just be careful out there. And we do get a little slice of the pie, man. I'm not gonna lie and have fees, but we've not paid ourselves at all, and we have a little bag going to hopefully upgrade the whole studio setup. And hey, thank you so much for supporting the channel, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Oh, also it gets you access to the VIP Discord, and eventually we'll probably gate it. I think we're talking. We don't really have a price now. Right now, I think it's like $10 a month. Is what we're going to be aiming for to get access to our community. But anyways, guys, we appreciate you. Thanks for showing up, and we'll jump back in the charts. Woo. You know, I think that's another thing that a lot of people don't cover is how big of slice they get from fees. You know, I think a lot of influencers on YouTube now, being part of the industry as long, YouTube doesn't pay very good.
No, they take 30%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people who come in the chat, guys, I'm giving you guys a little bit of alpha right now, is crypto influencers, they survive off those affiliate links. That's where they make their bacon. That's the bread and butter for them. And we're just trying to grow, guys. And, you know, like I said, I really don't want to see anybody get hurt. And I think you guys have understood that well enough. So I'll definitely give you my best advice. We're jumping in Bitcoin on the 12-hour. We have an anchor trigger wave right now. It has not confirmed, but it's not looking great. But it's probably because we're bouncing off the 21. The VWAP looks like it could keep going. Money flow's coming down. We got the red dot strength also tilting. The Stokes RSI also low. We're going to zoom out a little, or zoom in a little bit more. We kind of come down. The 6-hour just broke below this 21. That's why we're probably dumping right here. We got the red dot. Bam, a break. Dumping. VWAP's not looking great. But if you look at the money flow, it was the thickest right here. And it looks like the money has been coming in on the smaller time frame. So we'll probably actually not break down super hard. So I'm not super bearish, to be honest with you. With the 4-hour, we do have open doors to the downside. The next area of support is going to be at 108. So I would not be surprised to see 108. I don't think we'll break below it. We might get a wick below it at first, but that's the kind of area I would be checking out. We just jump into the 1 hour. The 1 hour, we still have open doors. VWAP is starting to curve up, you know, so maybe that is the bottom, or we get a little fake out. We come back up. Check out the 15-minute. We're going to do a micro zoom. 15-minute, we have a double green dot. VWAP is showing a fake out. I would say that's a 100% fake out. It's not even going up if you actually open it up. Because look at that VWAP. It is coming down. Stokes RSI beat down, strengths beat down, but we might go a little lower, guys. We might go, like I said, head down to 105 would be the next area in the 15-minute. Excuse me. And the ultimate area is between 109 and 108, 700, I think it's going to be like a little target zone. We're going to jump over to the dominance. The dominance actually has been going up on the 15-minute. The 1 hour, we also have the red dot. There's your sell-off, guys. And that 23, 22, 23, that is saying it's going to continue. That is a sharp decline. VWAP coming down, money flow coming down. That dominance is dumping. Maybe might get something interesting on Ethereum because Ethereum looking bullish. Maybe we'll see the dominance from Bitcoin flow into the alt. So we're going to kind of keep an eye on that. But it does definitely, money is definitely leaving the dominance. 12 hours, kind of looking bearish. That's pretty crop topped, man. Keep an eye on it. We're swinging to ETH. Ethereum on the 12-hour. I don't even know what I was drawing yesterday. Some type of Chinese sideways chopsticks. Oh, yeah, right. The VWAP. It's not angled down. It's pretty flat. Momentum on the blue wave definitely says it's coming down more. The 4-hour looks bearish. What the strong resistance? Are we going to break 4K? Tom Lee says we're not. The 1 hour actually looks pretty good. We're just starting to swing over. We're in the oversold territory at -64 to -60. That was a nasty wick. Oh, that was the wick we were talking about yesterday. No, this isn't that wick. That was a nasty wick. Went after the longs.
Yep, the market makers are ruthless.
Yeah, yeah. I think this was a nasty wick though, or on Bitstamp only, because I checked out a different exchange and they didn't have that wick. It kind of came down and it kind of buzz cutted it. So they were going after Bitstamp, which is one of the oldest exchanges there is. That's one of the reasons why I pour the data from there. But that's another thing too, guys. When you trade, you can do the best TA, and there will be low liquidity on those exchanges, and people who are far more skilled in that area than me to be able to find that data will literally cause the market to move on that exchange and cause scam wicks to go up and down. That is a thing, and you can get liquidated. But you know, generally when that happens, those exchanges do cover you, but they don't have to. Like, you don't have to. We have a double green dot right here. The whole market looks like it is coming down. I would wait for a second green dot to come in before I say we bottomed. VWAPs looks good. Stokes RSI are good. Strength coming in. The momentum has been coming up, but dude, I'm gonna look at it. I can't tell you to buy. I mean, maybe that's a good entry point because we're in the red, but I would say let it cool off, man. I would give it like an hour or two before I decided to jump in, because the whole market on the larger time frames looks kind of bearish. We look over here, it's all red on the side right now, which means we are dumping. 12 hour on ETH, we're in this little area entry point. You know, you might be able to catch a trade, put a couple trades in. You might be able to get a wick down here like this, catch it. We'll jump into the coin glass. We're gonna check out. I say check out a lot, you know. I mean, it's like self-conscious. We'll check out leverage. I just did it again. 24 hour, guys. You telling me that we're not gonna come down and grab this liquidity before we come up? The market makers are mean, man. They probably want to take us to this void. I could see this void and even possibly this void. The people on the 108 will probably say, but we could come down to this area real quick and snack on that and bring it back up. And we'll probably head up to 111. You know, I think Trent was saying that we have a CME gap of 117. So I think long term we are looking pretty good. We'll jump into the 48 hour on here. Yeah, they might come down and grab all this liquidity up. Well, maybe not even all of it, but a good chunk of it, and then we'll probably start heading up to 115. What's the ETH looking like? Yield. Well, data from Binance. Oh man, I guess that was a scam. Like, not just on Bitstamp. I wonder why it didn't happen on all exchanges. You see them snipe that and go down that liquidity. Bam! Took them off. Took them all out right there. And that's on Binance, and we were pulling data from Bitstamp. Well, you know, shoot, man. I couldn't really tell you why ETH is going down. They're not going down because there's no leverages. They're not, you know, at least not on Binance. Which is probably saying this is going to be a short-term move down. Like, the longer-term move will probably head back up to, probably hit these shorts. We'll maybe jump up into this gap at 4,400, but hopefully by the end of the week, before a weekly close. That's what we'd like to see. Joe, do you like to do some TA?
Say that part again.
You want to do some TA for us? Do you have you see the plus sign on the bottom of the screen? The screen. You hit that, you put it up, and then do you use StreamYard?
Yeah, I stream with CCM, Crypto Coin Mindset. I stream with him on Mondays and Wednesdays. So he has StreamYard. So
okay.
There we go.
Oh, your charts look fancy.
Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and.
I really liked our pre-morning conversations. I'm glad that I'm not the only one that has caught on to that. You know, my friend, he was trying to do copy trading, very similar to how you started it on Lifer's channel.
Mm-hmm.
And he was struggling to make money copy trading.
Oh yeah. In order to do copy trading, you have to have some kind of knowledge. And if you don't, you'll burn yourself a few times before you're like, okay, well, they're doing copy trading, but let me still kind of learn, because something could happen, you know.
Yeah.
So so this was a long we were trying to do on Bitcoin. This is just teaching mentorship stuff that I do. But we had this dump. So I'm thinking, okay, more than likely we might come up to maybe 38% or 50% of this drop.
Yep.
Before
that's what I've been thinking. Yep.
Yeah. So, but again, like, we don't know what's going to happen. So this is on the 4-hour time frame. So we always have to find out what the bigger time frame is before, you know, doing our smaller time frame. So 4-hour time frame, you know, we had this trend line here. We did break out above it, I have a bunch of lines on here just to kind of show different, because I go on the lower time frames to kind of see where we could bounce. But we came up into our zone. We came back down. I thought we were going to bounce here. We came down. So as we're doing this, I'm thinking that because of this drop, we're going to come up higher back into this zone to do a lower high, which is fine. And then this is what I'm actually looking for. This is what I call my pivot, my decision point. And so because of this thought process, that's what was leading me to think that we could come up here, to come down, to maybe come up, to come down, and then fight up. So that's my thought process of why I'm doing a long. Now, for me, whenever I have yellow circles, this is an aggressive entry. White circles are safer entries. And the reason for this is, and there's so many different words for the same thing. Some people may call this liquidity, selling pressure, whatever. I just call it an area where we could reverse, just because, well, we tried coming up here and we came down. We tried, we came down. Yep. For one thing, for those of y'all who don't know how I trade, I make all of this. I take trading and simplify it. So I know market structure, I know order blocks and fair value gaps and divergence and everything else, and I just declutter it and organize it, if that makes sense. So here we broke out of this level, which is our highest level. And again, if you do market structure, you know that this is a key level. But this is the level that we need to break. Now, we did break it. Why is this aggressive? This is aggressive because we had a move up. I have two rules. One, what goes up will come down. What goes down will go up unless it's a rug pull. Very important. So here, it just came up. It just went up. No retracement, no nothing. So I'm expecting it to pull back to maybe here, 38% to maybe 50% of this move before continuing up. Now we can do a safer entry once it breaks this pivot. However, that did not happen. It continued going up. Again, we don't know when it's going to come down. We just know that the longer it starts going up and the more it goes up, the sooner or less likely that we have to wait a long time for it to come down. So it comes up here. I do another video for my group, let them know. And this is aggressive entry. And I'm letting them know, okay, now, because it went up so much, I would love to see it come down here, bounce off of this zone, come up, and now this is a safer entry. However, that didn't happen. It went sideways again. Again, we don't know when this is going to happen. Then price went up some more. And now it came down, broke this level. Okay. I'm thinking we're going to bounce here. Did not. Now, granted, this I drew when the price was here. I didn't know this was going to happen. And sure enough, it came down right to the area I thought it might come down to. Again, if I knew where the price would be at, I would be a very wealthy trader. But sometimes I get these and they're spot on. Sometimes I'm completely off. Price comes down right where I thought it might come down to, come up right where I thought it might come down or up to, then come down. So now this scenario is to where we make a lower low and we just lose the momentum. We lose the strength. We start just coming down. Now, because I don't know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, it's dynamic. We have to be, watching it. What is it doing? Well, it came down here. It found support here. Coming up, made a lower high, which is fine. A lot of people freak out about lower heights. This is fine. Came down, coming up, showing strength. And then I did another video, I believe, here or here. But just basically, no, here. Just explaining that right now it's showing strength because when it came up, again, I look at 38 to 50% bounce since it's coming down. And here, did about 50%, give or take for this extension leg. So as it's coming down, this is my decision point. Is it going to come up to attack this or roll over? It goes up, then down, up, down. When this came down here, this now is my decision point to where this, if it was going to be weak, it would come down for this to come down for this and potentially come down, but it didn't. Instead, it shot up. So same thing here, aggressive. Why is this aggressive? because price, once, if it would have gone up, then pulled back, then come up, breaking this pivot with already a retrace, this would be a white circle. But because it only went up, now granted, it went up here, went sideways, like this is a 3 minute, and then went up, like this is nothing. So because of that, aggressive. I'm thinking we're going to pull back to about here and then come up, safer entry. We barely pull back. Whenever we have a pullback of like 8%, 12%, that's nothing. And I always talk about this too. Like if we just do this, when it rolls over, there's a pretty good chance it's going to roll over pretty hard, which we saw right here. Up, sideways, not retracing. Like for me, I would like to see a retracement, but since it's not, and just the wicks don't really count. I'm talking about candle bodies. Yeah. And then, boop. So here, same thing. Came down right into this area where I think it might. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. Now, I want you all to notice one thing. Indicators. I trade price action. Price action shows me the strength of the move by looking at the candle bodies, the candle wicks. I do market structure, stuff like that. I see a lot of other things here. Now, when it comes to divergence, I don't trade divergence. I see it, but I don't trade it. Just because I can go on and on about divergence, but I won't do that here. So here, price is coming down. So when price is coming down, now I believe I made another updated video here. So whenever I do another thing, that's when my continuation of thought process is here. Because we are now in this kind of like a zone, it's coming down, it's stopping, it's coming up and it's stopping. Yeah, it breaks out, sure, but the majority of the price action is right in here. It's coming up, it's coming up. So now it's looking strong. So in this updated video, I'm saying, if we come down, more than likely come down to the middle of this box, and then I would like to see it come up and break above this level, get back into this zone before potentially coming up, and then now we're good. Now we can do, I should have had a white circle here, unless I took it off. This would have been a white circle, and this would have been a safer entry. So right now, as far as aggressive entries, we're in. Safer entry, we're not in yet. What happens? Price comes down right around the area I thought it might come down to, a little bit lower. Came up to the top of this box. Once it broke this level, and I even mentioned it on my video, I said, if we break below this box, man, we have one more chance of being saved. This level. If we break below this, we're getting stopped out. Not only that, but we moved up our stop loss too. From here, we're doing a 20x leverage from here to here. Now we moved it up once we started doing this, because we're kind of missing our chance already to go up. Now it's not looking so great. Because it's not looking so great, we have to swallow our pride as traders, and it's okay to be wrong. And that's one thing that, for me personally, whenever I was trading, it's like, oh man, like my stop loss is way down here, and I think it's gonna come, but you know what? I'm just gonna leave it. Like I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna light another candle. I'm not Catholic or religious or anything like that, but I got so many, Saint Anthony's and Marias and Marys that like I can start a fire. Like I'm lighting so many candles just praying, and then it comes down. It's like, man, I knew it, but I don't want to be wrong. And of course, if you're posting this online, whether you have a group or Twitter or whatever, you're doing call outs, like it makes you look bad. And one thing that we have to do is swallow our pride. We're going to be right. We're going to be wrong. Losing is part of trading. And here it's like, no, 20x leverage. Because I see this, not what I wanted to see, we move into our stop loss. Sure enough, we break this level, boom, stopped out. We get stopped out, which is better than being down here, because this would have hit. So this whole thought process that I was trying to do, the aggressive entries or the aggressive traders, they got stopped out. The safer traders, because again, there's so many different types of traders. You have a very aggressive, you have safer traders, and I pretty much take care of everybody. And sure enough, the aggressive traders would have been stopped out. So this is my thought process. All in all, I know there's a whole bunch of stuff. All in all, right now, to me, not looking strong at all. For one, this was our decision point, 50%. Now, what I like doing is I like doing my fib retracement using the magnet tool, going from the bottom of this move to the top of this move. You can see that 50% was right here, 618 right here. I always say that underneath the 618 is the danger zone. This is when there's potentially chance that we could, just come down and like Tom Cruise, crash and burn. So here we're looking at underneath the 618. If we come down here, we could go to the 786, come up, maybe retest the 618, and then continue taking 100% of what we just did. And now we break this low, and then now we're fighting. It's harder to go up than down. It's much easier to go harder uphill than downhill. So that's pretty much my thought process when it comes to this. And that's my little Tom Cruise. But in my opinion, I do think that we are going to, I said we're going to come down. I don't want to come down. I mean, I do. We have shorts open. But if we do a rate tool, I'll go from here. What's that snapping? From there to there, that didn't do anything. So, granted, I did break through this one, but you can see we're crossing this trend line as well. So this is what I'm thinking might happen. So what I like doing is I like using the path tool to show you what I think might happen, so that when we come back to it, we can see if it did or if I was completely wrong. But I think from here, we could do one of two things. One, we come up, it looks very weak, and then come down and do this. And I actually put this in blue. Or two, we could, I think we might still come up. No. I think we're going to come down.
Yeah.
Because look at the size of the candle bodies. They're getting less and less and less. Yeah, we had some buying pressure here, but maybe to here, maybe do a double bottom, come up to here, then come down. And what we're doing is we're attacking this. Now, for me, I don't trade based off of liquidity because, I have so many reasons for that too. But anyway, we could be coming down for this, but I think all in all, we're going to maybe continue this trend. So I think right now, at the moment, we're going to come down until we start breaking the highs. If we do something like this and then we roll over, like say we do this and then we roll over and we break this high, then great. Because now what we're doing is we're trying to break this high and then continue up. But right now I say going down. I know that was a huge long thing and I apologize.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
I love doing is teaching and trade and just showing you what my thought process.
No, I dig it. I love it.
I kind of forgot where I was at.
I was in the zone too.
Where am I at?
You were talking about like a lot of people are afraid of
I think you're
lower
muted.
highs. And lower highs, I'm in the same boat as you. Like they're not there.
Am I muted?
No, you're not muted. I hear you. Can you hear me?
I still can hear you.
No, I hear you. You're good. I hear you.
Am I muted?
Nope. No, you. I hear you.
You can hear me. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Check. Can you?
Check.
I can hear you. I'm not sure what happened because I can't hear you. But hopefully you liked it.
Yeah, well, I did.
Come on. Let me see.
Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3, like a bird I sing, but you've given me the most beautiful set of wings. I'm so glad you're here today. Tomorrow I might fly away. I don't know what you did, but what I was going to say too, like with the lower highs, you can't be afraid of lower highs, because if you don't make a lower low, then you're just in consolidation. That's not the end of the world. 1, 2, 3, like a bird I sing, but we're just testing to see if Joe can hear us. I'm so glad you're wait, no, my fly away.
So I can hear you on YouTube, but I can't hear you on.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because
But I can't hear you on StreamYard. And I
yeah.
checked the settings, and the settings. I went to the speakers, and it did the test audio, and I heard that. I just can't hear you for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, because I hear you, you hear me, no, I hear you, and I know you're working, and I know I'm working because it's on YouTube, but I just can't, you can't hear me. But we can wrap it up here pretty quick. I was just saying that you were talking about lower highs, and not to be think it's the end of the world, and I was in agreement with you, because if you don't make a lower low, we're just in consolidation. That's just it. And when you were talking about like dropping like a third to 50%, I was like, yeah, that's usually how it plays out. And I don't know why, that's just how it is. And then yeah, well, we've been streaming for about an hour and a half. It's kind of annoying, because I kind of want to talk to you more afterwards. But I guess we can wrap it up, and I'll hit you up in the Discord or Telegram.
Yeah. So right now there's like a delay because I'm watching this.
Yeah. Which is really weird. I'm sure that drive you crazy, because it drive me nuts. But,
yeah, there's like a 20-second delay. But yeah, I'm pretty sure once we stop this, it may work.
Yeah, I hope so. Let's cross our fingers. Well, I'll wrap it up then. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining. If you haven't already, go follow Joe. No, not Joe. Trade Intuition, his YouTube channel name. Guys, he joined us today on Split Notice. It was awesome to have him on here. We appreciate everything he's done for us. And yeah, we'll have him back on. We got some plans cooking for you. And you guys enjoy your weekend. Have a great day. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the flippity flop. Later.